G'day cocktail lovers, I hope you've been keeping well. I hope everything's, tolerable where you are. As I record this, I'm in my 6th lockdown in Melbourne town. I'm not saying drinking a lot of cocktails is how I'm getting through. I'm also not saying that. But all that aside, time for Milk Punch Monday! And this Milk Punch Monday, at least when it goes live, of course you could be watching this anytime in the future, coincides with Singapore's National Day. And I saw the suggestion, have a Singapore sling. And I thought, those two match up. A Singapore sling is a good set of ingredients to clarify, I think. So we're going to do that. I'm going to follow the Dale de Groff recipe, because if you search online, you will find a few different recipes called Singapore sling, something claiming to be the original, the improved. Dale de Groff has a nice balanced version of it, and that's the one we're going to make now. So let's go. The Singapore sling is a gin-based drink, and I'm going to, just for fun, use an overproof gin for two reasons. One is the clarification process mutes flavors a little bit, tones them down a bit, and there will also be a little additional dilution when the whey from the milk is actually added to the clarified cocktail. So it's going to dilute the gin a bit anyway, so why not go nuclear? I always, when the option's there, go nuclear. I'd be a terrible world leader, known for the catchphrase, go nuclear! The military would think I should never be given power. That's a terrible idea. I should be given gin. I'm going to start with this one from the Great Ocean Road Gin Distillery, which is about an hour or two away from where I live. This is their overproof they call Split Point, and we're going to do 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of gin. We're also going to add some cherry liqueur. Some people say cherry brandy. I think some people like to use cherry hearing. This is, where is this from again? Croatia. I have a few liqueurs made by these makers in Croatia. They're all quite good. This cherry one will go nicely in here. We're going to add 1/2 ounce, 15 mils of cherry brandy or cherry liqueur. We will also be throwing in just a splash of Benedictine. That will bring some nice herbal notes into this drink, but barely more than a splash. We are going to do 1/4 ounce, around 7.5 mils of Benedictine. We will have the same amount of an orange liqueur. You could use triple sec if you like. I'm using this dry curacao from local maker Marionette. It's very nice, but whichever one you choose, what you have on hand or what you like, just go in 1/4 ounce or 7.5 mils of orange liqueur. That's actually it for the booze, but there's a few juice and other elements in this drink. Next up, some pineapple juice. As usual for me, I'm doing freshly opened as opposed to freshly squeezed pineapple juice, because that's way too difficult. This is like no additives. Just get a nice pure orange juice, pineapple juice, if you're having canned or bottles. And I need to double check. There's quite a bit of pineapple juice in this. It's 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of pineapple juice. We're also adding some lime juice. This is some I squeezed earlier. This will provide a nice balance in the drink. And it's just 1/2 ounce, 15 mils of lime juice. This recipe also calls for just a little touch of grenadine or pomegranate syrup. The de Groff recipe says 5 mils, which is about a bar spoon, which is an easy measurement. Also, because he said triple sec, which is a bit sweeter than the curacao I'm using, so I might just put a little bit more, maybe 2 bar spoons, which would be 10 mils or 1/3 ounce. You adjust to your taste, but somewhere between 5 and 10 mils of pomegranate syrup. Finally, we'll just do 1 dash of bitters, aromatic bitters, Angostura or any other aromatic bitters that you like the idea of getting in there, and then we'll be done after we add 1 dash of bitters. A standard Singapore sling would be shaken at this point, but we are milk clarifying this drink, so we are going to add it to some milk. The ratio you want is 4 parts drink to 1 part milk. So depending how big a cocktail you make, I often make enough for 2 drinks if I'm milk clarifying, because it can take a while anyway. But whatever your total volume of your drink is, you want the ratio of drink to milk to be 4 to 1. It is important you add the drink to the milk, not the other way around. You will get the best result with the curdling that way, and you let it sit for anywhere from a couple minutes to half an hour. Don't pay attention to any guides that tell you to leave it for 12 or 24 hours. Totally unnecessary. Also, don't pay attention to guides that say you need to heat or even boil the milk. Not only is that unnecessary, it can be counterproductive. I've always found it to work fine with milk straight from the fridge, and it's normally curdled enough within a couple of minutes to half an hour at most. You then pour that through a paper coffee filter. But the big thing is, it's not the paper coffee filter that does the hard work of clarifying, it's actually the curds. The paper coffee filter is pretty much to hold the curds. The curds won't settle straight away, so the first amount of drink that goes through will be a bit cloudy. So what you want to do is let it run through for a minute or two and then pour that back through, or potentially filter the entire drink more than once. But this can take a while, depending, there's a whole bunch of variables that can affect how this is, the volume you use and all these sorts of things. It can take anywhere from an hour, well, it can take half an hour to even multiple hours to completely clarify. So you do need to be a bit patient. It's worth being patient because you get a great result. And just look at that. We've just got, it's like a light pink drink once it's fully clarified. Just a little bit of color in it. Speaking of being patient, I did not wait for my beautiful, sexy clear ice to temper properly before I poured the drink in, which resulted in the ice cracking, ruining the whole clear aspect of it. So that's me being punished for not being patient. Learn from my mistakes. Be patient. And I just garnished with a maraschino cherry because that's just a great garnish. I love a maraschino cherry. But the big judgment, what does it taste like? Ooh, it tastes great. Tastes very fruity. The pineapple juice is dominating somewhat. It's probably not the strongest drink I've ever made because less than half the drink is alcohol. Like usually with a Singapore Sling, it'd probably be in a tall glass with lots of ice, maybe with crushed ice. I was just trying to show off the clarity of the clarified version by putting the big chunk of ice in there. But you could serve it how you see fit. I mean, you could just chill it. I'd recommend stirring, not shaking, because shaking will make it cloudy. Stir it with ice, and you could serve it up. That would be very elegant. I like it this way, but there's a lot of room for you to play around. Serve it the way you would like to serve it. I don't know where I'll edit this closing in because I do this in the kitchen, and of course people want to come into the kitchen, which is a perfectly reasonable thing, and I got distracted and I stumbled mid-sentence. I'm going to finish. I'm done. I hope you enjoy that. Give it a go. If you've never tried milk clarifying, there's a whole playlist on my channel of how to do it and the different suggestions of drinks you can do it with. It's a lot of fun to do. You get all sorts of interesting results. It's not always better, but it's always interesting. This one's quite nice. Doesn't really taste like alcohol, which is of course a dangerous thing with an alcoholic beverage. But I'm going to finish this and enjoy it. I hope you enjoy whatever you're doing, wherever you are. And hey, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, it would be great if you did. Hit the little notification bell so you know when I upload. And I'll be back again soon with more cocktails. I'd love to have you here. But anyway, in the meantime, take care of yourself. Take care of people around you. And until I see you again, cheers.